live, going live, going live, going live, going live. Oh, I'm live. Live with no one here. That's okay. So it was just me making a mental log to myself then at this point. But yeah, Fastlane happened. And well, needless to say, when you have a two-match card, it definitely helps when those two matches are interesting and or good. So yeah, I feel like everyone always feels this way about Fastlane or whatever the show is before WrestleMania, where everyone kind of knows it's not really a pay-per-view. It's the setup show. That's what it is. It's not a pay-per-view. It's a Clash of the Champions. The point of Clash of the Champions was not to have a pay-per-view card. The point was we get through these other 12 matches. They all get done in 5 minutes each. Why? Because Sting and Ric Flair are going 45 to set up the match for Starrcade. That was the point of Clash of Champions. So that's really what this is. This was a television special to set up the pay-per-view. And realistically should have only been 2 hours at best instead of, the full 3-hour plus pre-show and all that. That's just a problem with overexposure over everything. Did you like the surprise Santino? I did not see the Santino cameo. I didn't see that at all. I had no idea what a Santino cameo was. If that wasn't during the pre-show, I missed it. I started in with the tail end of the pre-show because I was trying to figure out how to get Peacock to run on a Fire Stick, which I wound up having to side-load it. So I technically now have a side-loaded Peacock stream on the... Dude, it's me from the Rumble. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see. Yeah, you joined in like immediately quickly, but no. So basically, this was actually going to be probably a short video, because I just got done grading papers, and one of the students that was supposed to be scheduled for a Zoom meeting and discussing missing work decided to no show. So after 40 minutes of me just going, gonna wait with the Zoom link, is might as well talk wrestling, talk about what happened last night. I don't really have much to say about like the first half of the show, because it would just be me being very, very dismissive about everything. Like, clearly, this was a 2-match card. It was, my student pulled a CM Punk. Yeah. Basically, this is the main events. The world title situation. The WWE title and the Universal title, which, stupid name aside, but I will say, I feel like WWE, and it took me to this show to realize it, WWE, whenever there is a down period, whenever there is a really bad stretch of programming, and I will say that this is just something that's natively happening to WWE just because there's like 8 hours of television every week, and eventually everything's just so overexposed, overproduced, over everything. It just goes, I hate it. That's, just... But whenever there's a bad stretch of programming, WWE falls back into this pattern. And this pattern works every single time. And it makes me wonder why they ever stop this pattern. Their pattern is, okay, everything on the low card and undercard and mid card, fuck it. We're focusing on our main events. Everything sucks. At least the Hogan feud is good. Everything sucks. At least the Austin feud is good. Everything sucks. At least, John Cena versus CM Punk happened, That's their main, that's what they do. And they get about 5 guys. They get about 5 people that they can just plug into that main event scene and go, boop, boop, boop. We can get any of you in a one-on-one match. You to you, 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 you know, and you can get like 20 different matchups based on just 5 guys. So you can run with those same 5 guys for 5 years and not have to worry about it. Because you can always do something slightly differently by just switching up one of their names and plugging it in. And that's what they do. And the current 5 guys are, you know, Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and, you know, Daniel Bryan and or Edge, depending on, you know, I'm not sure how long Edge is going to stay around or whatnot. But then, of course, you got like 2 or other people that you can kind of slot in when need to. Like, you know, is anyone really going to complain if Randy Orton somehow gets slided into, you know, a main event spot for a one-off match? Probably not. Is anyone going to really care if, you know, Cesaro jumps into a main event spot? You know, you could believe it. You know, but there's 5 people. There's about 5 people that they have booked up to be, you know, credible. And whenever they do this, where they have like, here's our 5 guys, that's normally telling. That means generally 2 to 3 years from now, there's going to be a frickin' boom. Okay? Here's what happens when they do this 5 sort of thing. They go like, oh, here's 5 people. Okay, let's get Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Mankind, Triple H. You know, it's like, here's your 5 guys. Interchange them in any way, shape, or form you want. And then once they get that main event scene down, that means 2 to 3 years later, hey, we don't have to worry about the main event scene anymore. We've got ourselves our bona fide guys that we've got. Let's focus on the tag division. Or let's focus on this division. Let's focus on this. Whenever they don't have to worry about the main event card, then they can go and focus on everything else. And that's when you get your, like, you know, your 2002, 2003 era, you know, where you get this, you know, massive, everything's firing on all cylinders type of situation. You know, so whenever I see this sort of thing happening in the distance, I'm going, okay, WWE is going to suddenly take off like 2, 3 years from now, and we're going to call it like the new golden era. So I feel like that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the start of something really good coming along the corner. So that's always interesting. I always like it when that happens. Now, but also at the same time, those 5 people that I listed, you know, Drew McIntyre, Lashley, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, just by looking at the match, just looking at the matches they did yesterday, and, you know, looking at any match that Lashley does, because, you know, it's Lashley, and he didn't wrestle last night. You believe every single one of them is hitting as hard as they can. You believe that they are actually hitting each other. There's nothing fake about it. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's wrestling. We all know it's staged. We all know it's predetermined. We all know all those sort of things. But you can't look at some of those things they do and go and say, oh, yeah, that I see where he pulled up. You know, I see where he pulled out. You know, it's like, no, that looked like it connected. That looked like it, you know, hit. You know, was there anything ridiculously over the top? No one pulled out a corkscrew 720 through a flaming table. But they just did simple shit, and it worked. Like, they are far more 1970s wrestling than they are 2020 wrestling. So, I like that. I like the fact that it feels real. You know, you might not believe wrestling, but you believe them. And that is where I would go with that. That is like, it's good. Like, I would have liked if everything else were to be like that in the WWE. Instead, everything is overproduced with 700 different things. I mean, there was, what's his name? The bro guy. on a scooter, talking to Shinsuke about a scooter. And Skeeter was a scooter and something. It was totally staged and phony. It's like, yeah, this is totally a conversation someone's going to have backstage with a camera right on them like this. And I'm not even going to talk to the person right beside me that's, like this. I'm talking to the camera like this, because this is how people normally interact with each other, right? Yeah, it's not, it's faked. It just immediately throws me out of the loop. So I wish everything else was like the Roman Reigns and Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Now, I realize I'm saying, man, I wish everything was like the Hosses, I wish everything was, a 300-pound man of muscle, I'm sounding like Vince McMahon's wet dream. But no, in all honesty, where the Hosses got a bad rep was when there were really bad Hosses around, to be perfectly honest. When you had, like, your Giant Gonzalez, or, God forbid, if this year's Royal Rumble, when Kane walked down to the ring, and I immediately went, "Oh my God, Kane's knees are shot." Like, you could see him hobbling to the ring. It's like, when Hosses get to that level of pain, that's not good. But yeah, there was, honestly, so as far as everything goes, it seems like we're going into that situation where WWE had the, throughout the mid-90s, their undercard was but then, the main event was, the big thing that mattered. And there is logic behind that, I can't even remember what the card was, but I remember those two matches, As long as the ending is good, people will leave somewhat entertained. At the very least, they'll say, man, that was a good last couple of matches. So, and it was kind of like the reverse with WCW, where the undercard was amazing and then the main event was just cluster. So, currently we don't really have a WCW that's doing that, but, oh, hello, Shane the Gamer. Hello. So, I do like this idea of, like, okay, so the main event is going to be, like, the thing that actually matters here. So when I see WWE going into that cycle, it's like, okay, I know what we're going into. We're going into this sort of transitional period, and then 3 years from now, there's going to be something. I liked and subbed. Have a good day, man. Oh, thank you, Shane the Gamer. But yeah, so that's really kind of it as far as, like, the positives go. I am like, okay, so everything's going on, and then, honestly, I have no problem if, the main event scene is, 4 out of 5 people are, 300-plus pound, Hosses. Because at least all, like, 4 of the 300-plus pound Hosses are, good. I mean, I may not look at as far as, how this is framed and the clothes I'm wearing and, all that sort of stuff, but, I am 240 pounds, okay? Like, I'm probably larger than a vast majority of the WWE roster at this point. But yeah, so it's, is what it is. But yeah, that's basically the positive. That's really kind of the message I wanted to say, is like, man, as far as, like, worst show of the year and whatnot, and oh my God, it made Revolution look good or something or other, or whatever the online thing is right now. It's like, you know what? There was a silver lining in this. And I feel like, and because of those last 2 matches, that silver lining was definitely the how that all goes through. So yeah, future's looking good. Also, there's a lot of ways now around this, because now everyone has an out. Roman tapped, so Daniel Bryan gets his thing. Edge has, his little issue, and, Roman has his little issue. You could do multiple things here. You could do a triple threat, or you could do a night 1, night 2 thing where maybe Roman defends the title twice. And then if Roman loses, Roman has an out. Hey, I wrestled twice. Or, no, I'm not wrestling twice. You guys wrestle each other first. And then Edge has an out and going like, wait, hold up, I got a guaranteed contract here. There's a there's a bajillion different ways you can go through with this. And it makes it interesting, in my opinion. So I'm not going to, watch Raw and SmackDown or anything because, there's like 8 hours of wrestling. And it's just too much wrestling. But yeah. So honestly, as far as the main event scene thing goes, everything's fine. I'd even say, like, the rest of it was all kind of expected. I mean, like, okay, so Cesaro and, what's his name? My brain is going Tyler Black, and I know he's Seth Rollins. My brain was going to a gimmick name he hasn't used in ages. That Nakamura was going to be the sacrificial lamb because it's a feud with Cesaro. You knew that the women were going to have a team breakup because they're in a one-on-one match at Mania. You knew that was going to happen. So yeah, there's it was all expected, but yeah. So honestly, probably should have cut an hour or two and just had this be a special. But hey, as far as Peacock goes, I mean, outside of the first 30 seconds being in 240p, took a while, but it eventually got into a nice quality. Side loaded it onto a Fire Stick, so was able to put it on the TV instead of having to sit here at the computer. Also, anything else technically wise? Oh yeah, there's no like pause or rewind for live yet on this app. Also, I took a look and saw what their WCW offerings were because I was currently, as I work out on the elliptical or whatnot, I generally do this, hey, let's go and run for 25 miles or whatever, and let's watch a pay-per-view. Actually, I don't think it's in miles. I think it's in kilometers. So let's go for 10 miles and watch a pay-per-view. And right now, I'm currently on like 1993 Wrestle War. So, So obviously, that's not going to be happening unless I want to watch, Greed or Sin or Mayhem or something. Just for, like, it seems like the only pay-per-views they have are like 2000 WCW. It's going to be making the workouts less enjoyable. But yeah. It'll get there eventually. Also, now they have that promo code Peacock Mania or whatever, so now it's like, so I'm getting all of WWE Network eventually. And a bunch of other stuff for less than the WWE Network was originally. Man, WWE is just killing the economy for indie wrestlers, aren't they? It's like, man, for $4.99 a month, you get WWE, WrestleMania, our entire backlog, and you get The Office, and you get these movies, and you get this, and you get everything else. And you get the Olympics, and the Premier League, and basically everything involving, NBC stuff. So Sci-Fi Channel and Discovery Channel and, is it Discovery Channel? I don't know. Bunch of different stuff. All for $4.99. Well, God damn it. What do we have to charge for tickets to a live event then? 50 cents? Here, like, it's already hard enough getting people to spend $20 on a wrestling show. Like, you're killing the economy for us, man. You're killing it. You're gonna price everyone out of business. And then where are you gonna get people from? What independent scene are you gonna raid when the independents are dead? Ay. Oh well. But yeah. Outside of that, the only other thing that I will actually notice, and I don't think I'm breaking new ground here when I say this, and this is also why I decided not to do a actual live watch through. I mean, outside of the Big E, Apollo, whatever the heck that ending was supposed to be, the fact that they didn't do a replay tells me it wasn't supposed to be that. But Nia Jax. I don't feel like I'm breaking any new ground by saying, for the love of God, someone tell her what to do. Like, Look at her. Look at everyone else in the ring. Who's the person who should be backing up from a flurry of punches? Not Nia Jax. But who's the person that does? Immediately, the moment she steps into the ring, person half her size starts throwing punches, backs her up immediately into the corner. Like, I don't care if someone said, hey, this is what you're doing, this is what's being called, and I know it's like, if you have like your boss saying, hey, do this, just look at that from a visual standpoint and go and say, I'm not the person that should be getting back into the corner like this. I'm the monster Haas in this match. Why am I being backed up into the corner immediately? Killed all her heat. Killed her dead. Out of the 4 people in that match, she was the one protected the least. Like, I would be furious. I have had a situation like this in like normal matches where it's like, buddy, I'm taller than you. I'm taller than you, I weigh more than you, and you want to take me down with a clothesline? No. And of course, but my finish is a clothesline. Yeah, and I hit a better clothesline than you. No. Cheat. Grab tights. Pull hair. Do something. You take me down to that wimpy-ass clothesline, it's going to make me look like shit. Nia Jax has to have some bone in her body that says, no, you're going to make me look like shit. No, I'm not going to do that. And she has to at some point. Also, when, Shayna Baszler opens up your opponent's ribs, punch it, kick it, do something other than try to squat down and headbutt the ribs, because you just went from super tall to you're trying to, squat yourself down into a frame of 4 feet tall to try and hit this person's ribs, and all you can do is go, hold up, I'm balancing because I'm all hunched up like this, and go, eh. It makes it the weakest looking headbutt ever. Don't ever headbutt someone when it's not their head. You cannot headbutt someone's ribs and make it look believable. Unless if they're on the floor and you're doing like a diving headbutt or something. But I'm just saying, from a standing position, you can't headbutt ribs. It's the mechanics of it. It just looks like, so that's twice in one match, Nia, that you just made yourself look worse. So yeah. Nia Jax having the innate ability to get herself under was kind of the only other thing that I kind of had to mention. And then, of course, it happens to all of us, but, when you're on television, you should kind of know this. I mean, if you're on an indie fed and it's like, okay, heel goes and says to you, hey, I got this plan for you. It's going to be a fast count. I probably should have, I should have probably stood my ground and said, but you're the heel, and you're going to get a fast count pin to lose? That's going to make me the heel. No, man, it's fine. We got it. It's all settled up and whatnot. And, I made that mistake. That was also conveniently on the same card that was apparently the worst show ever made, according to our boss. So out of everything that went down, I think kind of no one remembers that fuck up. But it still was a pretty... I should have put my foot down and said, no, that's going to hurt me. But yeah, it happens to all of us, so I'm not, super upset with Nia Jax with it, but there's kind of you're on TV, you should know this by now. We all make mistakes, but at some point, someone should just say no. But yeah, overall, was the show good? Well, it did its job of getting the plot progressed over to WrestleMania. The couple of main events, 3 or 4 matches on the card of Mania, like have some pretty solid build now. So I mean, I guess it did its job. The final two matches, okay, not the Alexa Bliss Orton match. You know, that was. I'm talking about, you know, McIntyre and Sheamus versus, and then Roman and Bryan. Those two main events, really, those two matches were really good and set the stage and left a very solid, left a very positive taste to the card, even though the rest of the card was entirely forgettable. So once again, there is such a thing as ending strong. As long as you end strong, people will forgive the beginning. So yeah, should have probably been a hour-long special just to get some bugs out of Peacock, just to check and see and make sure everything was working properly. But, you know, as things go, worked perfectly fine. Then there's then again, of course, I also feel like there's already too many pay-per-views anyway. There should only really be 6 a year at most, because we really don't have to have a pay-per-view every month. Really don't. It's overkill. But then again, of course, I mean, I'd probably, if I was in charge, I'd be taking like all the WCW names outside of WrestleMania and, you know, the Royal Rumble. Okay, hold up. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam. Those guys would be staying. Because those are like, and I guess Survivor Series, but God, is Survivor Series even like a big one anymore? Okay, what would I mix in with the WCW? Halloween Havoc, definitely. Halloween Havoc. Bash at the Beach or Great American Bash. Yeah, but that would be taking place right where SummerSlam is, too. Halloween Havoc. Fall. No, God. Man, now that I think about it, all these things would just overlap right next to each other. Fall Brawl was always too close to Halloween Havoc. Spring Stampede, there's kind of no point in it. This, because it would be right near where Mania season is. It just getting this death spot. Starrcade. Yeah, but Starrcade. Damn it! Damn it, I just proved my own point. Still, I would just love the WCW themes to come back. I always thought they had better themes, you know. Set was a beach for Bash at the Beach. There was a giant inflatable pumpkin for, you know, Halloween Havoc. Would love to. I love the themes, whereas I feel like WWE just became so homogenized. It became too pretty, too glitzy, too glamour. It just became too Mickey Mouse. You know, it became too corporate in the presentation. You know, there's a cut every 2 seconds. There's a new camera angle every 2 seconds. There's, you know, giant spotlights and everyone's dolled up in makeup. You know, I understand everyone's always in makeup for television, but I mean, like, obviously, like, people are too perfect looking. They're too pretty. So on and so forth. You know, Shayna Baszler sticks out because she looks real. As opposed to, you know, hi, here's this person that's, you know, I'm totally a tough person and I hate this person. There's a grudge match. Let me do my pose at the entrance. Now I'm posing this way. Now I'm posing this way. Now I'm posing this way. Now I'm smiling and happy in this match. Match starts. Now I'm going to fight. It's like, no. It's too much pomp and circumstance then. And that's just my general problem with WWE in a nutshell. But hey, you know what? They were able to get their main event scene working. And what that means is 3 years from now, when they don't have to worry about their main event scene, they're going to focus on the tag division and the undercard. And we're going to have ourselves a pretty decent WWE for the year 2023, 2024, 2025, maybe. So that's what I saw. What I saw was the beginnings of something to come. And of course, my timetables are always completely way off, so maybe it's not going to be that time frame. But that's just my thought process. So yeah, thank you for the 3 people that were in and out at the time, and thank you, Shane, for the sub, I guess, and thank you, Eric, for commenting as well. So yeah. see if my student decided to text me or call me or email me and go, hey, what happened? I'm sorry I missed our appointment or whatever. So see what happens. This is where I have video lectures explaining every single assignment. I have everything. So have step-by-step instructions. It shouldn't be difficult. But people just don't do them. And then people panic after midterms and going, oh no, I have 0 assignments in and class is halfway done. What do I do? Don't make it difficult for your computer teacher. That would be a lovely thing to do. But thank you all for being here. It actually went longer than I wanted to. You have a great day. And I guess I'll probably try to find, was Back at the Attack the same day? I know NWA is doing like a pay-per-view of some sort as well. I'll probably see if I can find that and then, give my thoughts on that at some point. And I'll still have to actually try to coordinate with, maybe Steve and Clayton and whatnot and just get some of the crew back for Mania or something. Maybe one of the nights or maybe After Effects afterwards so we can just talk about it, Just that sort of thing. Anyway, later. Bye-bye. You guys have a great day.